Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a little more relaxed than usual. I am inviting you all into my kitchen, my parents' kitchen, and we are going to be baking some Christmas cookies. I am super behind on pretty much everything festive. You can see the tree is undecorated, not like me, but it happens every year that I am in any sort of Christmas show that ends up taking up priority. So like I'm feeling festive, but I haven't done anything festive around the house. So we're gonna be making some cookies. I already made chocolate chip and pecan cookies 2 or 3 nights ago, and I actually veganized them using Earth Balance butter and just some applesauce from, is this one Aldi or at Wegmans? This one's from Wegmans. So Earth Balance butter as the vegan butter alternative, and then I was using the unsweetened applesauce as the egg alternative, I guess as a binding agent, and they worked super well. No one knew they were vegan, so now I'm gonna try it with a couple other cookies. I'm gonna make peanut butter cookies later, but I'm gonna be using from my mom's cookbook collection of all of the things she's ever baked, or family recipes or whatever. I'm gonna be making these butter drop-in cookies. I just called them butter cookies as a kid. I'm sure it's like a Betty Crocker type of thing because that's the vast majority of the things my mom cooked or baked as a child, but she has it handwritten, so to me it's extra sentimental, and I'm interested to see if they're going to taste any different with the Earth Balance. I'm not vegan, but I have lots of vegan friends, so if they turn out fine, maybe I'll bring them to a get-together. But anyway, I'm gonna stop talking and let's get to baking. Alright, oven is preheated to 375, grease a pan. Oh, that's what I need to find, is our mat. We got a new silicone mat because our other one only lasted maybe a year or two, and then it got really grody and things stopped sticking. Anybody else ever have that problem? Because I thought these things were supposed to last forever, so I don't know how I feel about them. I think I'd rather use recycled and compostable parchment paper at this point, but we have the silicone mat, so I will use that. Let me get the pan out too. Set that over here with said silicone mat. I might actually spray. Should I spray the mat if it says grease the pan? Or is that just for non-stick purposes? Or is it for deliciousness? Cream butter, sugar, and milk in a bowl until well blended. So how much am I doing? I gotta double all of the recipes because some of the last cookies went to my dad's office and they have requested more cookies. So they really requested the peanut butter ones, but something tells me they're not going to turn down any cookies. And I don't have to worry about a nut allergy in my dad's office because I was really meticulous about washing my hands and using separate utensils and separating the chocolate chip and the chocolate chip pecan cookies. Let me stop trying to be meticulous and just rip open this thing. And what should I need? 1 cup of butter. And he said that everybody just like went for both cookies, so now I know nobody has any sort of nut allergy, so I'm not afraid of using any nut milks or any cookies touching. I probably won't have the cookies actually touching anyway though, because I feel like the peanut butter is going to overtake the butter cookie flavor. This is probably supposed to be softened, but I forgot to take it out in time. Sugar. Also, all these had turbinado sugar for a while, or I guess cane sugar, whatever you call it. Aldi's had it for a while, but I don't know that it has been fair trade. Well, that's an easy way, guys, for some cheap fair trade goodness. How many? 1.5 cups of sugar. It always seems so overwhelming when you make like a big batch of stuff, because it's like, oh my god, how much sugar am I consuming? Although for the record, I tried to make healthy cookies one time because my dad is diabetic, and it was really bad one year, and so I was trying to make cookies that had like a low glycemic level, so I was making cookies with agave or maple syrup, and let's just say that no one's ever forgotten how bad those cookies were, so never again. You know, it was a learning process for everybody. Let's see, so it's 1.5 cups of sugar, and then we'll do 2 tablespoons of almond milk. Just got Trader Joe's unsweetened original almond milk. But yeah, so I don't do healthy cookies anymore. I will veganize cookies, but they'll still have plenty of fake butter and sugar and such in them. Because you only Christmas once a year, y'all. Life's about balance. I used to be a lot less life is about balance, and I was super skinny. That was a paranoid mess. So anyway, I don't even know how this conversation came into this. So we're gonna cream the butter and sugar until well blended. My blender is, I got this because I lost, there's a debate in the house, our last one mixer that we had for years. I don't even remember having it, but apparently I lost it, and I mean, my mom's probably right. Moms are always right. Moms are always right. But yeah, this guy I just got because it was already cheap and then it was on sale, but it's very powerful. There is no steady hand with this guy. And that's also why you need to soften your butter. If you got a crappy hand mixer. Alright, I'm gonna try to chop some of these butter pieces a little. Maybe that'll help. At least for the peanut butter cookies, if they call for butter. I need to look up a recipe for that. I don't know where our recipe for peanut butter cookies went. But at least the butter will be softened then, if it's even needed. Alright. So that's that, and then it says to beat in your egg and vanilla. So for 1 egg, it is 1/4 of a cup of applesauce. And I've done that with a couple things, not just cookies, but I've done it with like box cakes and stuff too, and it's been pretty foolproof. So that's why I'm pretty trusting enough to do a video on this right now. So how many? 2 eggs. So, oh, I guess I could just use a half a cup. Well, I'll just do the 2 1/4 cups because I'm gonna get applesauce all over my half a cup in case I need it. You usually need a half a cup more than you need a 1/4 cup. Watch it so I'm wrong. 1 1/4 cup. 2 1/4 cup. Can you tell I worked at Sesame Place? Vanilla. 1 teaspoon. Does this not convert to it? This does convert to a teaspoon. Okay. Sometimes you can have. Whoa! So there is that, and then I combine flour, salt, and baking powder. So I'll do salt and baking flour first. 1/2 teaspoon. Okay, that I do need. Different one. So I need 1/2 teaspoon of both salt and baking powder. So 1/2 teaspoon of salt, or baking powder. See? 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Always double check that it's baking powder, not baking soda. I don't know why, but that's what they say on Food Network. And a teaspoon of salt. And then get your flour. I need to move this coffee. I'm obviously not drinking it right now. Anyway, so, oh, flour. How much flour do I need? 2.5 cups. So the flour that I have been using, this is a new one, and I did pay more than I wish to because I wanted to get an organic brand. You do not have to. You can get this kind of flour in pretty much any store brand. Actually, I'm going to keep this here. This is an all-purpose unbleached flour. If you are like big on like whole wheat and stuff, I suggest for baked goods that you use white whole wheat flour and not regular whole wheat flour, because white whole wheat flour only has 1 less serving of fiber, 1 less gram of fiber per serving than your traditional, I guess, red wheat flour is what you would call it. And it is very mild in flavor. I have just been not so concerned about my fiber content since going vegetarian because I eat a ton of plants, so I've been just fine. So 2.5 cups. This is not going to be a very clean process. Warning you all now. probably should have warned you guys before in case anybody is like a super duper, I must have a clean kitchen type. I am not the vlog to watch. And then combine. So I assume when it says blend or mix, you're supposed to use a mixer, but if it just says combine, then you can use a spoon or your hands. I'm gonna use a spoon, kind of. Spatula, I'm using a wooden spatula. The best part about making vegan desserts is that you can taste the batter and you'll be fine. Pretty sure these cookies cook pretty fast too. If I'm not mistaken, it said 7 to 9 minutes, so I can really pump these guys out. Alright, let's try a bit. Try a little more. Oh yeah. That's gonna be good. Butter cookies literally, to be honest, taste like sugar cookies, but more buttery. In case you were wondering. I'm sure you all probably could have figured it out and didn't need me to explain that, but in case anybody was wondering, no shame. That's what it tastes like. Alright, I'm not going to be able to beat that off. I'm going to move the camera and we're going to move over to the stove. Let's do this relatively quickly. Should I grease the... I'm going to grease it. Gotta grease it. Just some spray, olive oil. There we go. So I have kept that bottle for a while and I just keep refilling it. Pro tip. I don't know why I said that so loud. And typically I try to do it so that I have 12 cookies per batch. I like them to be like a, you know, a happy sized cookie, but we don't need to be excessive. And then I also put the dough in the fridge in between each batch so that it's much easier to roll. The first roll is always kind of difficult and the cookies cook a little sloppier. Kind of like how the first pancake's never good looking. The first batch of cookies are always a little sloppy. At least for me. Because the cold dough gets all firm and then it can stay in place a little better. I think that's part of why the like Poppin' Fresh or Bacon Fresh, whatever, the Pillsbury and Toll House and all those other brands of cookies, why they turn out perfectly shaped. Because they're already rolled out for perfection potential, but then they're cold. So then they're not gonna like melt and wilt a little on you, okay? And since this is the first batch and the dough is a little soft, I'm gonna put it in for the 7 minutes. Let's turn on the oven light. I'm gonna put it in for the 7 minutes and then check on it later. Or check on it after the 7 minutes have passed. I really can't talk and do things at the same time. I'm gonna put it in for the 7 minutes, check on it, and see if they look good. They're usually kind of yellowy, but have the little brownish ring on the end so that you know they're well baked. And yeah, so I'll see you guys when the cookies come out. Okay, so maybe a smidge too brown around the edges, but they turned out really pretty. So I'm gonna try them out once they cool off a little bit and roll up some more. All right, I'm not patient enough. I'm gonna try it out. Which one? I'm gonna try this tiny one. Oh, it slid off well. Ooh, yeah, no, too hot. I'm a liar. We're gonna take, the cookies are solid enough to put on this plate, but they're just not cool enough to eat. Oh my god, these are so hot, but I want to try it so bad so I can bake the other ones. I don't know if they're any good. It's hard to taste the heat. Actually, I might keep them. I might keep them this like brown around the edges because I actually think that's the best part. This one was like a 50-50. All right, because technology is great, I found a recipe for peanut butter cookies online. All right, let's see what this needs. So we have half a cup of regular sugar. Oh, this thing calls, where did I put the sugar? Okay, this thing calls for half a cup of regular sugar and half a cup of brown sugar. And I don't have brown sugar because brown sugar is the devil. Actually, brown sugar is delicious. It's just you open it once and then it's hard forever and you can't ever use it. So the internet says that all you have to do is for every tablespoon of brown sugar, or every cup of brown sugar that you have, you use 2 tablespoons of molasses, because that's all that's missing from brown sugar, from white sugar to make it brown sugar. I don't have molasses either, so I'm using maple syrup. And since it was only half a cup of brown sugar needed, I will do 1 tablespoon of maple syrup, and hopefully it'll taste the same. So mixed sugars, peanut butter, ooh, shortening. What can I use instead of shortening? What can you sub for shortening?
Butter or margarine for shortening. Generally, you can use butter or margarine in place of shortening, but making this substitution may slightly alter the texture of baked goods. Shortening is 100% fat, but butter and margarine are composed of about 85% fat and 15% water.
Okay, so let's, anyway, go back to peanut butter. I need half a cup of peanut butter. Not opened this one yet, because this one is especially for the cookies. I have to stir it. This one's from Aldi because organic peanut butter costs you your firstborn unless you buy it from Aldi. So I will stir. This is where that extra money all goes to. Your oil's separating. But if you're one of those people who's avoiding palm oil, this probably still isn't the recipe for you. But you can get organic peanut butter from Aldi. Good grief. Why do people add extra oil in peanut butter? I feel like there's an awful lot of oil in here. And that's just from the legume. Alright, how much of this stuff am I supposed to do? Half a cup of peanut butter. This is not gonna go well. Oh, okay, here we go. It's like that's not gonna go well at all, but it did. Heh. Okay. Half a cup of PB. I'm gonna need actually that knife to scrape off. Oh, what I should have done, pro tip number 2, is when you have something that's like kind of sticky, like honey, and you have to bake with it, or agave, if you don't have honey, is to spray it with spray your measuring utensil with non-stick spray. Slides right off. Can't demonstrate that at this moment because I think that's the only thing that would have been sticky, but anyway, so peanut butter, shortening of butter. So how much do I need? 1/4 of a cup of shortening and 1/4 of a cup of margarine. Perfect, because this is half a cup of butter. So I can just use this one stick. And I think, I left the knife in there. I'm gonna do what I did the last time and cut it into little pieces. It's definitely softened. But that mixer's a little wild, y'all. Oh, okay. Not neat, guys. Never claimed to be. Alright, and So that's, and the egg. All right, how many eggs? 1 egg. So another 1/4 cup of applesauce. So my memory cut off on me. That's what I get for not checking how much memory I had left, but pretty much the last thing I did was the applesauce, and then I put everything, or I mixed everything in the mixing bowl. I kind of got it all over the place, but that's fine because then you guys didn't get to see that process. And thankfully, I checked before I got too far because I believe that is all you guys missed. The other cookies are about to come out of the oven anyway, so I'm gonna get the last of the butter cookies, and then I will continue with the peanut butter cookies. All right, back to these peanut butter cookies. So I put in the sugar, the peanut butter, shortening, butter, egg, stir in remaining ingredients. Okay, so the remaining ingredients are, but she puts them in order. Betty, you're so great. Okay, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and then 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And it indeed said to mix everything, so we will mix. This time I will use a wooden spoon and not spatula. I'll move this over here to be social. And then we do what every good American does, and we put Hershey Kisses in the middle of our peanut butter cookies. But since I was trying to make this vegan friendly, I don't know if you can buy vegan Hershey Kisses, but I have this Newman's Own 54% chocolate, dark chocolate, which I think when you're under 65%, you're technically semi-sweet chocolate, which is much milder and more sweet than dark chocolate. So that's always, to me, a good crowd-pleasing chocolate if you're trying to avoid milk in your chocolate. Because I know a lot of people think that you can't have chocolate when you're a vegan, but all you have to do is get chocolate without milk in it. And semi-sweet, I think, is the most, as close as you can get to milk chocolate without the milk in it. Because once you start buying the chocolates that have the non-dairy milks, the prices are a little crazy. And then I like the Newman's Own one also, or chocolate also, because it's organic, but the squares are not exactly squares. They're a little rectangular, but I'm just gonna cut it in half, I think, this way, and then plop it in the middle, and we'll see if it has the same effect. But I also have Hershey Kisses ones too, because they gotta be presentable for the people. And my family is gonna want Hershey Kiss ones, but I'll probably eat the other ones. All right, I think everything's decently mixed, so let's take our little taster ball. This is definitely gonna be a lot less cookies than the last one. Not that. Ah! Sorry guys, I'm really dramatic. Yes, oh my god, that's so good. I love peanut butter. Okay, I'm gonna take off these butter cookies that have cooled off, and then I'm gonna plop these peanut butters in. All right, this one didn't say anything about greasing any pans, so I am just gonna go right at it and make these a little teensier. My other cookies were starting to get kind of big anyway, so Trying to cheat out. I'm not a very good actress in that respect. Not that I'm acting right now, but you would think it would be second nature. The amount of times directors have told me, cheat out, cheat out. But then when you start working in theaters where they're in the round or where they're really, really, really tiny black boxes in which cheating out seems super fake because the audience is about 3.5 feet away from you, you kind of get untrained with that kind of stuff, you know? For those of you who aren't actors, if you didn't figure out from my overly expressive body language, cheating out is the difference between cheating out and not is if this olive bottle and I are having a conversation in person, this makes sense. When you're on stage, we have a conversation like this so that you can enjoy the conversation with us. Closed off, open to the audience. All right, gonna put this in the oven. I don't know why I chose to wash my hands. I'm so used to, I do this when I make foods with, oh, you guys can't even see me because I don't have the tripod up. I do this when I cook. Where did I put? Oh, it's over there. I do this when I cook too, is that I just assume that everything is raw meat or raw egg. Even though, I mean, I do still eat some eggs, trying to reduce that, but I don't have to wash my hands when I cook beans or when I make vegan cookies, unless, you know, they have nuts and you're serving people who are allergic to nuts. But no one is in this case. Oh, let me see how long. It says 9 to 10 minutes. So since this is batch number 1, I'll put it in for 9. We will see how that works. And I'll be back when it's time to pop them out. Alrighty, so I have this cutting board. First I think I'm going to unwrap a couple of kisses because I always feel like the best part is when the chocolate melts a little bit when you press it into the cookies, but you got to do that as soon as those suckers come out of the oven. And then I'm going to try cut this guy, and then we'll see if it does the same thing. It's a little thick, but I feel like a Hershey Kiss is kind of thick too. I'm going to cut this one this direction. Actually, they're all kind of big. It's hard to tell. So I have one cut this way and one cut that way. But then a kiss, because a kiss is taller, but the cookies are kind of small, so maybe I'll cut them in another piece. Yeah, so the kiss is taller, but this is pretty thick. I think that's a little more comparable. Alrighty, so now all we have to do is wait for the peanut butter cookies to come out. Can't put the almond milk back in the fridge because I need that space for the peanut butter cookie dough, which I didn't put in the fridge, which we're gonna do right now. Alright, batch number 1 is out. I'm actually gonna do this over here because I feel like I can converse better over here. The whole world smiles with you. So the camera pooped out on me again, but the cookies turned out absolutely lovely. These little vegan ones, the chocolate got all melty, and they're perfect, and I think that's gonna conclude this vlog.